everybody, Casey here. Just wanted to let you know that we do more than just podcasts on this show here. But so you can go ahead and find us at the YouTube channel GroupCast Nation, where we make all sorts of things ranging from greatest hits to GroupCast Game Day and Two Guys Go on Adventures. Also, you can check us out at our Twitter page at GroupCast Nation, and also like us on Facebook. I believe that's it, right?
Yeah. Facebook, YouTube, our email.
Oh, yeah. If you have any questions or comments or anything else that you want to tell us or let us know about, give us topics to talk about, email us at groupcastnation@gmail.com.
Honestly, Facebook and YouTube works for that, too.
Mm-hmm. True, but, gotta give the purples as many...
The purples?
The purples.
Is that what our fans are called?
Purples. Strangbeard! We gotta inform the purples!
Yeah. Cool.
Well, it's intro time now. It's so devoid of Wes. It's so quiet.
It is.
That help?
Yeah. It's the GroupCast podcast, a show about stuff like stupid jokes and Charlie folks and random ass topics with Case and Wes and special guests like Fred and Danny, Kyle, Riley, Lennon's there too. This is their theme song. It's pretty cool. Just don't ask Wes to sing the rest because he'll forget the words. So sit right down and gather round, but not too close because they were so ugly that everyone died. Podcast. Anyway, hey.
Is that all you got? Is that it?
Hey!
Hey!
It's...
Podcast is over. Good night, everybody.
It's a podcast.
What number is this?
What's this?
113.
113.
Is it really only Is it really only B13?
Is it only B13?
Is it only B13?
Bingo!
I went to bingo last night.
Has it really only been 13 episodes since the 100?
Yeah, it seems like, well, we've missed a couple weeks.
I know, it just doesn't seem like
quite
it.
a number of weeks.
We did. Well, stuff happens.
Yeah.
I guess.
Snow fucking happens.
I don't know.
Snow fucking happens, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but it seems like every time we get closer to our anniversary episode, people get busy.
Yeah, well, yeah. A lot of random shit seems to go down.
And
to a lot
fucking
of
Snow
random
gets
people.
busy.
Yeah, Snow gets busy.
Yeah.
Snow be busy with that. Snow.
Snow be busy, be 13.
But hey, we're coming up on our 3rd anniversary of GroupCast.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
What's
Shit.
the date on that?
Never. February
I can give you
31st.
the exact date. We started on February 23rd,
Close enough. 31st,
Yeah.
23rd.
2012. This year will be the 21st.
Shit.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So we should have 156 episodes.
Yes. I mean, there was a whole month before 2 years where we had just a slew of GroupCast every week because...
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess you gotta count those.
I was one of those. One of those.
You were one of those B13.
We've had, I think, 12 GroupCast episodes, something like that.
All right, well, that's
12.
that improves the numbers.
I was one of the 12.
Those are surprisingly very good quality episodes.
Yeah.
My personal favorite, and will continue until we beat it, is the episode of GroupCast Apples and Rants, where it was me, Wes, and Cassie.
Cassie was always really good.
Yeah.
I was on one of those with her.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
That was the one that was called I've Seen Enough Hentai to Know Where This Is Going.
And ironically, that day we did that, I think it was snowing.
Could have been.
I feel like it's...
Maybe that's why we didn't meet up, honestly.
No, because he had already planned that a week in advance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was me, Cassie, you, and
Wes.
And Wes.
Yeah. I went to bingo last night.
Yeah.
You should have gone.
Yeah.
If you had picked up...
I should have gone because I was doing nothing on Friday.
Yeah. Well, I thought about inviting you out, but I figured you're still in Millersville.
I am.
So, yeah. I didn't figure you wanted to go an hour and a half
Especially
for
with
bingo.
all the drifting around
If
here.
I'm-
I'm surprised you went.
You've seen those bingo people. It's not worth the half-hour drive, let alone an hour and a half.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
One of them died.
What?
One of the bingo people died. I don't know which one, but they just said, well,
Well,
Gladys
fuck what
is
I was
dead.
gonna say. Let's
B13.
Like,
push
died
on.
recently? Or...
push the eject
Yeah, like
button.
Sunday.
Oh.
He pushed the eject button.
He
Someone,
did, yeah.
someone over the summer had died too, apparently. Someone that my cousin knew that he said he'd seen at bingo.
Oh, yeah.
Or some woman.
I think I peaked my audio at one point here, so I gotta be careful about how loud I get.
Who was Gladys?
I think
I don't know.
Erica
Oh,
peaked my
Gladys.
audio.
How about Tutu?
We're all just so... I wish he was dead. We're all just... So, there was a guy. Listen, alright, listen to this.
Oh, it's crazy.
There was a guy, and, like, the most rug-looking woman I've ever seen. Like
Okay,
you picture
like
a
chin
rug,
beard
you
and-
picture like a rug that turned into a woman,
And had a
like
chin
in
beard.
Cinderella, like poof. This rug is now an old woman. That's what this woman looked like.
With a chin
She was
beard.
like a tapestry.
Pretty
She
much.
was a tapestry.
Yeah.
Was-
And she brought this guy who I can only assume was like her fuck buddy.
Her fuckboy.
And
Yeah.
It was
they
her
were
fuckboy.
87.
They were probably, honestly,
If not more.
something like that. Yeah, they looked like it.
He also
And
looked like a rug.
He did.
Fat, bald
A
rug.
fat, bald rug.
Who wore plaid every day.
Yeah, he did. Well, you're in Pennsylvania. What else do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
You're lucky.
He had one tooth.
The people who don't wear plaid
Yeah.
are the weirdos.
You got
in
because
this
there are three types.
scenario.
So, yes, we
there
are.
are three types of people in Pennsylvania: those that wear plaid, those
who
wear
are rugs.
flannel, and those that wear flannel with plaid.
Yeah.
And those who are rugs.
When these old people who wear plaid die, hipsters celebrate because then they know to go to the Goodwill and they can find an entire wardrobe there
Well,
just
then let
for
me
them.
tell you, my mom has bought my great-grandpa about 30 plaid shirts for him.
Yeah.
But he's not dead yet, and he's almost 104. He's going to live forever, so those
Yeah,
hipsters
yeah.
won't get those shirts.
They're all
They'll have to steal them out of
They're
his
waiting-
closet in the nursing home.
they're waiting outside his door like cats.
With my radio. They're out. Meow. But
Exactly.
anyway, these people at bingo.
So the fat bald rug.
And his lady rug.
Every time the number,
lady rug.
every time.
Every 9.
Shut up. Every
brings
time.
munching carpet to a whole new level.
Ew.
Oh,
That was good.
that's a mental image I'll never get back.
Nope, let's forget we even said it.
Every time I-22 was called, this guy would go, "Toot-toot," and wave to no one.
Yep, he'd go toot.
He would look at somebody and wave, but there was nobody there.
Not
And it's
all
like
the time. Sometimes he couldn't take his eyes off his playing, off of his cards.
They're called
Yeah,
cards.
the cards.
Yeah, bingo
And it was
cards.
a toot.
It was, and every time I-22 came up,
Every time. Yeah.
every week,
Yep.
for like 4 months,
Yep.
and then it got so annoying. Excuse me. It got so annoying, and then there was just one moment. I don't remember what. I think it was the like the blackout one where you get a whole bunch of numbers when you start and you punch those off, and then you go to that game later and you finish from there.
Okay, yeah.
Now when
No, it was the
well, I thought it was the blackout because the guy was pulling numbers.
It's
and
the one where he just pulls one, goes and goes and goes.
No,
and
it
goes.
was not.
Yeah, it was.
No, because shut up for a second. Listen, it was because the whole issue that this guy had was, they pull all these numbers before the start of bingo, and it's like 45 numbers or something like that, and then it's almost one of the last games. They bring up all those 45 numbers that they've called, and then they just pull numbers out of the thing. But if it's one they've already pulled, he just like looks at it, throws it back, and pulls
yeah.
another one. And a number showed up, and the guy pulled it out kind of quick, and it looked kind of like a number that wasn't called
It was
yet.
supposed to be 60.
It was.
It was 62.
Was it?
Yep.
Wow, that's a good memory.
It was 62.
Considering you didn't remember it was the right fucking game till just now.
Nope, 62. I remember that.
But the guy pulled it out kind of
Because
quick.
it was
She has a
it was
selective
yellow.
memory.
Yeah, it was. The guy
And it was
pulled it out
62.
kind of quick and moved on
be an
because it was
excellent
a number
victim
that was called,
serial
but
killing.
this tutu guy thought it
Tutu.
was a number that wasn't called that he needed to fucking win, and he had this whole big like rant.
He
like,
probably thought
"You-
it was 22."
You skipped my number, and the guy's like, "We didn't skip your
He
number."
kept
And
going on
it
and
was-
on
You
and
skipped
on.
my favorite number.
And you know,
It's
him
Cosby, I
and
guess,
his
yeah.
him and his rug sat there.
Oh, they bitched for the rest of the night. They haven't been back since. It's been like
Nope.
3 months. So
No,
they
that's
just,
been
they
like
just flew home.
that was July.
was it?
Yep.
But now, anytime the number 22 shows up, I either get to breathe a sigh of relief,
Yep.
or I hear some regular behind me go, "Tutu."
Nah.
No, he's gone.
No,
He's gone. You shut up.
No, it's
He's
because
gone.
for the couple times I went after they stopped showing up, I'd go toot toot.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Shut the fuck up.
It's annoying. It's annoying.
It's ingrained in your brains now.
Is.
Brain in your brain.
Ingrained in
Oh
your
my
brain.
god. Last night was all right.
What's the other one I would always laugh at when it showed up? I don't remember.
69.
No,
Oh, okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
no, there was a number.
We
Oh
just
no,
know
I would
you
just
too
take
well.
some.
or
I would just
not.
take some of the B numbers and just combine like
B.
Bait.
11.
I would say bait.
B. 11.
No, bait. And
This is Charlie Delta
B.
Niner. I have bingo.
I got bingo
First
last night.
I have-
I won $50.
Nice.
Okay, so also at bingo, a group of my family goes.
Okay, I was gonna say we didn't talk about the time that I went.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
No one cares about the time you went.
Well, actually, everybody won but Casey.
I know that.
Oh, he won stuff. He didn't win enough to break
And if
even.
I would have gone and taken his card, I would have not won either.
Right.
I believe I won something
13?
like...
12?
No, I think it was like $16.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that bad.
It's something like that. It's not too bad, yeah.
That bad.
Since I never have cash on me.
Yeah, it's good to
have.
There was a group of 8 of my... Actually, it's only 4 people are actually from my family. The other 4 are just friends of theirs. Yeah. There's this group of 8 people. 4 of them are related to me. And what they do is that they all split whatever winnings they get amongst each other. So they got this pot in the middle, and anytime one of them wins, they throw it in the pot, and then they count out how much they've won, and they divide it 4 ways
I
to
didn't
each
know
group.
they did it that way.
Yeah. They won 5 fucking times in a row last night.
Wow.
That's like that one time I showed up. The one time I was there.
So sometimes
5 of them won. Well, it was like 5 different ones that night won. And because the one sitting beside me won twice, I got $2. That's the most I've ever made.
If somebody wins alone,
wow.
the people next to you win $1.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's the most I've ever won.
My big win when I got there was the tickets. Or whatever.
You get tickets with numbers on them, and
Never
at
won that.
halftime they call that, and you win $10. They call your thing, and you got that. 2 of the 4 numbers that they called were theirs, so they won $20 out of that. 2 of the 5 games in a row that they won were the special games, so they each got $100 for each one of those.
Yeah.
They were $50 games last night, so that's just $250 in like a 10-minute span.
Yeah.
Also, they play the letter
They didn't
X.
did they got the X?
Oh, I'll tell you. They play the letter
Let
X.
me tell you.
Where if you win under a certain number of numbers, you win $1,000. This week, the number was 22, which is actually pretty high up there, actually.
Yeah,
so you might want to come next week, because they won on number 23.
Oh.
So they only won another $100.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
Well, despite the fact that is entirely luck-based, it's really fun.
It is fun. They went home with about $500 total.
I mean, I love going. It's just I can't keep shelling out $30 and win
to
nothing.
lose every week.
And I'm
You've never won, have you?
I've never won.
Yeah.
And I've spent almost $200 there for all the times I've gone. Yeah.
See,
it's about $30 a week.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm usually kind of against gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo's the only gambling I do.
Yeah.
If that's
Can we put that on a
gambling.
shirt?
Bingling.
Bingling.
The Bingling
Good old
brothers are in
Bingling.
town.
They're the best circus.
Bingo is the only gambling I do.
Yeah.
They're just
Bingling
juggling
is the only
bingo balls
gamble
back
I
and
do.
forth.
Yeah.
Wait,
Come back.
yeah. I need to take my car in soon to get fixed, and I feel like it's going to be a hefty repair.
Oh, no.
Because last time
that was my entire summer.
Well, see, I haven't had my car in since it was inspected in June.
Oh, okay.
But all I need done is an oil change. It's just it took me that long to get over my 3,000 miles.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
And when I had it in last time, they said, well, your 4-wheel drive sucks. That's like $300. I'm like, oh, I'll get it fixed later. Nearly died last week coming home.
Yeah.
Lovely. I don't have 4-wheel drive, so...
I set the... it was
fun.
that day it was snowing. What
Adds
day
up.
was that?
Yeah.
It was Wednesday, not the week we just had, the week before. And I worked that day, so I was out of school. And at about 10 o'clock, there was an announcement that was like, please just check your email. Okay. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. So whenever
Do you think they sent out an email first that was like, please check your email? And then they went, wait a minute. It's not gonna work.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them either.
Because it was at Casey's school, so I'm like...
I was recently reminded of a story by a friend of mine in high school that there was one, maybe you were there, I don't know if it was when you were still there or not, but there was one week where snow was, one day, I'm sorry, not 1 week, where snow was just horrible, and we absolutely should not have had school, but they had us anyway.
They had us.
Yeah, they had us in anyway.
Yeah.
And then they realized, I think we've made a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
So the principal gets on the
Intercom.
The intercom, yeah, I couldn't come up with that word for whatever
Intercom,
reason.
speaker.
He gets on the intercom.
Gets on the internet.
He gets on the internet. He was blown away. He gets on the intercom and he goes, all right, well, I guess we're going to, cancel
Go home.
school. Those weren't his direct words.
Yeah.
I'm getting to his direct words. And he goes, we're going to let the seniors who can drive go first so they can get out of here. Now, some of you might die on the way home.
Oh, my God.
What?
Wow.
This
is the principal I'm thinking of.
Sterner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know him. Because there's a
I
guy,
know him very well, too!
Yeah, there's a guy... I'm gonna say, the only reason I know this guy is because there's someone in the lake who used to ride my bus.
Someone's in the lake.
It was his...
Nelson.
It was his stepdad. So I saw him all the time.
Oh, okay.
His stepdad rode the bus.
Yeah, he did.
I'm in 4th grade. I'm this many. Holds up 3 fingers.
There's only 2 storms that I could think of that would have been.
Yeah.
And there was one when I was in 11th grade where we got sent home early.
Yeah.
And that week, it was like last week of March. That Monday, it was 80 degrees. That Wednesday, we got a foot of snow.
That's weird.
I think I remember that one. Because I was on the bus ride for one of these times.
Familiar.
And they're like, we're going to send you home. I was on the bus for like 2 hours before they got to my house. Just because they couldn't go anywhere.
There was only 2 times where I was in school. We got sent home early. And that was when I was in 9th grade. So it would have had to have been my junior year, sophomore year when that happened. Because we were sent home early that day.
I just remember the bus got stuck. In the snow, and they're like, well, we're going to send another bus to get you.
Yeah.
And we're all thinking, isn't this one just going to get stuck too?
That's one time, I think
is this a super bus that you're sending?
And flies in with a cape.
Yeah. I was in maybe 8th or 9th grade, and the bus driver I had was she hated everything. So I guess that's most bus drivers. And she got distracted yelling at somebody in the way back. Didn't look where she was going. Made just a little bit too wide of a turn and got stuck in the snow. And the moment it went, poof, everybody went, yeah!
Oh God!
Sounds like that would have. Well, no, the middle school.
That would have pissed her off so bad.
Everybody. Oh, it was like that. It was like the end of Another Brick in the Wall. Everybody's just going crazy.
Yep. But
that's so funny.
Anyway, so that day,
they
sent out an intercom message, check your emails. The bell was supposed. The times are so weird. At 10:12, the bell was supposed to ring, and I had 6th graders who were already going nuts, looking out the huge windows, like it's snowing.
That's what.
I'm like, sit the fuck down, you idiots.
Yeah, I don't know why that impresses children so much.
As soon as they saw...
Especially 6th grade. A 1st grader, I could understand.
No, it's like they fucking have radar. Someone goes, it's snowing. I look out and I can't tell.
Their faces all just turned.
And I could not tell until I saw,
that hurt.
One piece come down, and then another piece comes down. And it's how did you guys know to look?
Well, it's because...
That's when you casually... if you're the first one to notice, flakes falling, that's when you, casually walk over and just, close the blinds.
Well, that'll make them want to look more.
And the windows in this room go from floor to ceiling.
Really?
The whole span of the wall. There's
I know
3 huge fucking windows.
There's some
and
big
it's
blinds.
They are. I don't even... the teachers never even had them pulled down before, so I was just like, whatever. Well, at 10:12, the bell didn't ring. I'm like, well, where the fuck... What am I going to do? Luckily, the kids were just literally going next door. Yeah. So I go over next door, and she's got a couple kids in the class. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And she's looking at me weird, and I'm like, I can't get the email. And she goes, oh, come here. And the email was just, we're dismissing early. These kids go to lunch this time.
Oh.
And that's it. And that's all the email said. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I know what to do. So the next class comes in, and they came in for 20 minutes, then were supposed to come to lunch, and then came back for another 20 minutes.
You see,
delay
school hours off, whatever days you want to call them, have the most obscene fucking schedules.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Ever.
Because it was
this one was the weirdest, just because
of... It's so inconsistent.
Yeah, because in the high school, I can remember, it was we had 11 periods total.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird.
It was 1, 2, 3, 10, 5, 6, 7, 4.
But
morons.
Yeah, what I found.
I was just gonna say the only reason they do that is because they want lunch to be okay.
Yeah.
We gotta
feed the kids.
We gotta absolutely have that half hour of lunch for everybody.
Right.
So we have to completely fuck up our schedules.
That's because if they get fed, it counts as a full day.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, if they don't feed the kids, it's not a full day. So these kids that day got 20-minute lunch.
Yeah.
And that's a living hell, with each grade going at the same time, and each grade's a living hell.
Yeah, I imagine so.
From the announcement came on a little after 10. When I brought the kids out, the 5th graders were already in the cafeteria eating. I'm like, when the hell did you guys come down? I didn't even hear them talking to come. It was just like they went, pooh, and there they were in the cafeteria. But anyway, so then I have a 7th grade group, and they're the worst living hell in that school. It's like they took all the kids that are bad in that grade, put them into this one class.
That was my class.
And the art teacher had not been in for this new quarter of students. So there was a sub there the first day, and she was supposed to put everyone by alphabetical order. This side was just whoever was left there. And it's like all the bad kids were right up front together to egg each other on. I'm like, why the fuck?
That's horrible.
Yeah, and again, I was like, that teacher had been in the whole week. I was there for 3 days, and a sub before me, so our teacher hadn't been there to make sure everything was okay.
Did you split them up? I might have split them up.
No, I made some changes, but I told the art teacher, I'm like, you're going to need to split these guys up.
Yeah.
It just, the way it is, I don't even think I could split them up well enough. Because the one kid in the class,
they were just like,
it does not matter who he's sitting beside. He will cause a living hell, and I'm related to this kid.
Lovely.
But anyway, so they're in the...
Does he spell things wrong, like really wrong also?
No, I don't know him that well. I just his last name is my grandpa's last name, so I know I'm related to him just because of him... where he lives in the area.
Yeah.
I just know we're related. I don't know how. Just
yeah,
we're related.
it's
so
inevitable.
What do? They just talk a lot? Or?
Everything you could imagine they do. Like, the kids were doing 2-point perspective, and they were given rulers. Imagine what they do with the rulers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Dick
just the
measuring
rulers.
contest.
No, just...
Yeah.
You know it.
Smacking people as hard as they can, because they're metal rulers. The real flimsy ones that really...
those things, yeah.
She still has them.
Well,
they're probably the same rulers.
Your
all
teacher
bent
in
up.
high school has them too.
Yeah, but I mean, they've probably been there since you were, and they're so bent up and terrible. You can't even draw a straight line with them anymore.
Well,
and the kids hit each other. I'm like, that's why they get ruined. They're like, and then they put an eraser at the end and flick it to the other side of the room.
If only the listeners could have seen that face.
That was a good face, honestly.
Erica's mouth turned into an actual U.
But anyway, so I'm trying to deal with these asshole kids. The announcements come on. I scream at the top of my lungs to shut the fuck up, and that's the quietest I've heard that word all day.
Shut the fuck up!
I wish I could.
And then West there for a second.
And the principal goes, teachers, we just sent out another email. Check your emails. I'm like, God damn it! I couldn't get over next door. She had a class. I'm trying to deal with these guys. I can't leave them alone for a second with all hell breaking loose. Finally...
That second email said... we just wanted to let you know that we're going to be sending you another email that will discuss the pre-email
discussion. The second email was just... Apparently the second email was, this is what we might do.
I thought the email was, we're going to announce what we're going to do on the intercom system shortly.
So, the group I had, it was time for them to go to lunch. I sent them out, and that teacher next door still had a class. I didn't want to interrupt her, so another teacher comes walking by at the same time, like, have you seen the email? And she's like... just the one they sent me, like, there was a second one. She goes, there was a second one?
Yeah.
So then I go up to the next teacher who was across the hall, and I'm like, did you get the second email? He's like, there was a second email?
Oh, jeez.
I finally walk my way to the cafeteria, and there's the principal and the assistant principal. I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, we're not sure if we're going to do it yet, but we might have kids leave fourth period and then go to their homeroom.
You guys might die.
We'll say it on the announcements if that's happening. I'm like... So I go back to the room, sit there, wait for the assholes to come back from lunch. It was even worse, and had them for another 20 minutes, and then finally the principal's like, everybody go back to homeroom, He was an airplane announcer. Then they left, and I'm like, thank fucking God. So I waited till all the buses left. I'm looking at the playground parking lot area, and there's maybe a little bit of snow patches here and there, but it seemed like the more it fell, the more it just turned into just wet, slushy stuff. Slushy?
Well, yeah.
Sloshy stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, then I bet the roads look just like that. Got out in the parking lot, the driveway out of the school, the parking, everything looked fine. I got out into the main road, I'm like, oh, it just looks like it rained. No big deal. Driving along, turn left onto Old Harrisburg Road, which is like the other side of the road that West, like the other connection over 234. Yeah. And the further I got down that road, I said, oh no. Oh no. So I stopped dead in the middle of the road before it was completely covered in, and I turned my 4-wheel drive on. And so when I moved the thing, on my dash it says 4WD in green. So I'm like, okay, 4-wheel drive's on. I usually can't tell the difference, but every once in a while I'd be like, did that just blink at me? Like, it would go, like, real quick.
Oh.
Like, split second.
That's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Blink. And I'm like, well, maybe there's just something weird in this dash or something.
The electrical system is just being strange.
Well, it's probably because my 4-wheel drive isn't as good as it should be because I never got it fixed, but I just never thought it'd be a big deal.
Yeah.
So, I'm driving along, still going, I was going 40 where it's 55, and I didn't slide at all. I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
High schoolers behind me tailgating me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
They don't know danger.
No, they don't.
I don't know if
they are danger.
I don't know if you've ever come from that way, but
no.
You've seen, like, being on 234. There's, like, a steepish
I know what you're talking
hill
about.
coming down.
Yeah, I know that hill.
And they have the things on the road.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as I hit those, I went down to 20.
Yeah.
Right.
Came down that hill, literally the second I gently hit my brakes, I swerved left.
Ooh.
And did a 180 in the middle of this road. And an Explorer is driving up the road beside me. I'm like, how'd you get up the hill?
I was going to say those high schoolers behind you were like, good!
No, they turned.
They drove fast. Nerd!
No, they turned way past on that road. And then, so my first reaction
We're
was...
too cool for ice.
And then since I spun out left, I'm like, I'm going to turn my wheel right. And I did. And then my car went, no! And then went all the way right. I'm like, no! So then I turned my wheel left. And then I finally was able to come to a stop. And I'm like,
When shit like that happens, it's a little intense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the whole way
real.
the whole way home, I'm sitting there, I'm shaking the steering wheel because my hands were shaking so bad. And the closer I got to my house, the worse the roads were. 234, no plow.
Yeah.
All snow. I
That's a shame.
turn on to the house past that one farm where we finally stopped. Even worse.
Real, yeah?
The closer I got to my house, it's like there was like 3 feet of snow. Maybe not that much. But then I got to my road and there was a good inch. And I'm like, oh, Christ.
Wow.
I don't know how I got up in my driveway without swerving around in circles in my driveway.
Yeah.
And then I parked, I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, really.
And then the art teacher calls me that night and she's like, I'm still not coming in tomorrow, so I need you to come in. So I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's awful.
Luckily, the next day, it was 2-hour delay. And it was warm enough, and the roads were treated well enough that the worst was my road, and it looked like it did when you guys got here, where there were just patches.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And by the afternoon, it was again up to like 34, 35, so the roads were just wet and mostly dry.
Yeah. Except for bingo, I haven't been out of the house in like a week.
You
So
know,
I avoided all of this shit.
All I've had to do is walk places, though.
I would have avoided the shit. I just
Except
had no
for-
fucking choice, because the art teacher was like, I have the flu.
I'm playing the feud.
She, like, I was, like,
Name somebody who has to come into school tomorrow. That's you!
I worked
Show me Erica.
I worked that Tuesday at the elementary school
100.
down here. Came home, and since I knew there was a snowstorm coming, I'm like, I don't want to work tomorrow. So I put in, I wasn't going to work on Wednesday. Sat down, was just like, ring, ring, ring. I look on my phone, and it's the art teacher. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Because I know when she calls me, it's, I'm putting in a job, look for it. So I'm like, hello. She's like, Erica. I have the flu. I need
No,
you
you
to...
sound fine.
She sounded terrible. It's like, and she's like, I'm sorry you didn't get the job today. I'm like, I had already taken another job. I wouldn't have seen it go. She's like, I need you to go in tomorrow because I'm not allowed.
I'm under quarantine.
Pretty much. The doctor told her.
28 days later.
If I leave this airtight room, FEMA will shoot me.
So then I was like, all right, I'll go on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, it was, I need you to come in tomorrow, too. I'm like, all right. So she's like, I should be able to work on Friday. I'm like, all right, good. I get home Thursday, and she calls me. She's like, Erica! Yeah, I'm feeling better. But when I went to my neighbors and said, I'm going back to school, she said, hell no, you're not. So I'm not going in tomorrow.
Had to add one last one in
She
there.
did, because then I was trying to talk, and I was asking her a question, and in the background, I just hear, I'm like, did you even get any of that?
I mean,
That's awesome.
I mean, she is getting into an advanced age, so
65.
right? So I mean, that could have easily been like pneumonia.
Death.
It wasn't.
Pure death.
No, she just had the flu. She had been running herself crazy. She had an open house for her house that she redid, just to come see it. So that Sunday, I had been at her house, in her house, all around, hanging out with her, and then that Tuesday, I'm sick! I'm like, damn it, I hope I don't get it.
I don't know about you, but she's a little bizarre.
Us art teachers are.
Yeah.
And her birthday...
Yeah, you all are.
And
you're all weird.
Again, I don't always go with the star sign thing, but just some things seem to kind of fit. And it seems like everyone who's the same star sign as me is just fucking ridiculous. And never knows what they're doing. I actually saw a horoscope for mine, and it was like... If your friend blacks out and suddenly leaves after being, like, if your friend's drunk and then blacks out and then you can't find...
Oh, sorry, my body just rejected that.
And then you can't find them.
Yeah.
They're probably a Gemini. I'm like, well, that did happen at my birthday.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because I blacked out and didn't know where I went. But
I was gonna say, like, one of the few things I remember her like, telling our class that stuck with me was something that was completely... She talks about, like, when I was your age, and also in college, there was this art movement that was going around where
Nude.
where people would stand in a spot and that was art.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would be a sign that'd be like, stand here for art, and you just look out and be like, oh, that's nice.
That sounds that sounds like a complete 60s
I'm bumping
thing.
all sorts of shit.
Sense.
Hold on.
But no, she's nuts like me. That's why we work so well together, and why the other one I taught with was a fucking cunt bag.
Because she wasn't a Scorpio, or
she
was
just a bag of them.
No, she was just a fucking. Like I said, I don't believe that everyone is based on the whole star sign thing. It's just funny how some things it's like, well, that's definitely me, but that could be anybody, really.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
That's how it is.
Rolls tried this joke. It didn't work because
he tried this joke once.
It didn't work because he's Rolls.
Because he's Rolls.
But it was about horoscopes, and he read some actual horoscopes he discovered that were basically saying things like, if you're this sign, you might be like this. You also might be the exact opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could think of examples.
Did I ever tell you
now.
the weird one I found that was extremely coincidental?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I thought you were saying yeah because I told you. When I was in 7th grade, it was like a day or so before...
When I was your age.
It was like a day or so before school let out. So the teacher was like, just play games, I'm not teaching you.
The horoscope.
Oh,
school lets out tomorrow for you if you're this sign.
You're going to die in 3 minutes if you're this sign.
That day, she just let us play with the board game she had in the room, and she had Connect 4. And that day, I didn't...
Were you making constellations out of the Connect 4
I was going to
thing?
say, this sounds like a Frogger story. When
It's
he was in 7th grade,
it's a weird
he
ass...
played the game Connect 4 and read some horoscopes.
Yep.
So anyway, tell your story.
So I played Connect 4, and that day, I didn't lose a single game, which had never happened to me before. I'm like, well, this is interesting. So went home that night, got in the computer, and I was in 7th grade, so I would go to the Nickelodeon website, and I just happened to notice they had horoscopes, daily horoscopes. So I said, okay, this will be fun. I bet it'll make no sense.
I totally like Cat Dog.
I clicked on mine, and it said, today you will be better at Connect 4 than you've ever been in your entire life. That was my horoscope for the day. I'm like,
that is so funny.
But you didn't read it before, so it doesn't count.
I was like, these things are so random. How did they pick
that
one thing?
If you would have read that before you played Connect 4, you would have lost.
Is it like... So horoscopes are like dibs?
Yep.
Like, you don't say it beforehand.
Like ice
it
cream?
Count. Yeah, dib
There's
and dots.
actually horoscopes that
Dib and dots.
You're just walking and go, those are mine.
I call this color.
And then they give you a scoop.
There's actually horoscopes.
He called dibs.
It just doesn't...
He called dibs.
There's horoscopes that base you on trees.
Okay.
Like, I actually saved one because it was so strange. I gotta look for it.
Okay.
While you're looking for it,
yes.
I have to have a question. What I was.
Well, if you have one, you're all set.
I have a question I'm going to ask you guys, because you mentioned a little bit earlier about how your, like, that weird thing with your 4-wheel drive started working. Like, what's the weirdest malfunction, as you put a pillar on your head, like, what's the weirdest malfunctioning thing that's ever happened to your car?
I'll tell you in a little bit. You go first.
I'll go second.
You know the lights inside your car, like, above...
You have cars inside your lights?
Shut up.
Lights inside your car?
You got it.
You know the lights in your car that's, like, above your, like, dashboard and stuff? Like, it's so you can see like your console and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, water pours out of those.
Oh, yeah.
Does stuff like that, water gets caught in there, or it just
I think
spawns?
it does. I think water gets caught in there because I think it was. I think the story that they told us when they bought the car is that the previous owner had XM radio, so they had to install the wire somehow. So they they put it like through a section of the roof to run it through.
Yeah.
And when it rains really hard, sometimes when I move the car, then a bunch of water pours out into the back. So I think that's where the hole originally was, but I think it also leads up and around, because you know how water be. So it rolls up to those lights.
Though.
So it rolls up to the lights that are like right above, like fucking
like this if you water every time.
Yeah. And every once in a while, just like a couple drops of water pour out, and I go, that might be bad.
Yeah.
And really, it's just nothing.
The most bizarre malfunction that's ever happened to my car, and now I think you guys know about this, but I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast. During the summer, before I had this like hellish nightmare of having to get everything fixed.
Yeah.
My car, if I hit the brakes too hard, it would turn off.
Oh shit!
My God.
To this day, they didn't know why that happened. Like all they did was fix the brake pads.
Okay.
And like, because I guess they were like worn down or something.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, if I hit the brakes a little too hard, it would just like everything would shut off.
Shit.
I couldn't hit the gas or anything.
That is weird.
It was basically as if I had like turned the engine off, but not pulled out the key.
Whoa.
So like the radio was on and everything, but like the console was off, the engine stopped, and I couldn't figure. All I would have to do was turn it off and turn it back on, and it would be fine. But there were a couple times when this would happen, and I was like, there's people behind me and in front of me, what do I do?
Oh, that's
Where do I do?
Where do I does?
Where do I do? Something like that happened to me, only it was every time I hit accelerate, my car would slow down to the point where I thought it was going to turn off. Like
That's
I left
counterproductive.
Really?
I left Dairy Queen once, and back to the parking spot.
Your car's a rebel.
It is.
You
Came
want
to the
me
end
to
of the
go faster? We'll see about that.
And I came
Thanks, Sonic Boom version of
came
Sonic.
to the exit on the road, and there was a car coming pretty quick, and I'm like, well, I can beat him. So I got out and I hit accelerate, and my car went. And I go,
like
oh no!
breeze.
And then I hit accelerate again, and then it went, and off it went. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And just like your car, they never figured out what did it, because every time I took it to the car place, it wouldn't do it.
Right, yeah.
And every time I'd get it back, they're like, well, we cleaned your brakes, we did this with the brakes, we changed this inside, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and then... And it just finally just stopped altogether.
Yeah.
But that's not the weird thing I was going to say about my car.
I'm going to talk about this for just a second.
You already did yours.
You said, well, it's not about this. It's about something he mentioned. I gotta say.
Okay.
You said Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
Which is, as we may or may not be aware, it's a recent video game in the Sonic the Hedgehog series.
This generation's Sonic 06.
That's a little not quite playable because it's so fucking buggy and awful.
Could have been good, but it was rushed.
Right. And then there's the infamous trick.
Yeah.
Where the one character can do a jump. If you pause the game and unpause it, even in midair, then you can jump again. And then you pause the game and unpause it and jump again. Pause and unpause and jump again.
Yeah.
And you reach heights you shouldn't be allowed to reach. I heard...
Just break that game.
There's also
Did the character come out of the game?
What's that?
Said, did the character come out of the game? Just pops out of the TV.
Yeah. It's like, I'm here, bitches.
I'm dumb and hilarious.
Yeah. They have a cartoon. I don't know what channel. Probably Cartoon Network. Of this show.
Really?
They made that jump canon in the cartoon.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
All right.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
The cartoon is just based on this game. I guess just
What is the game?
Sonic Boom.
That's
it's a Sonic the
hysterical.
Hedgehog
Is
game.
that what the show's called?
Yeah. I don't know the context in any way. I've just heard this from multiple sources.
and
this is the thing now.
I'll try to find it and put it in the links.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, this was an American-made game, right?
Probably.
That's why it doesn't work.
Pretty sure
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Well, no, Sonic 06 was Japanese-made.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but Japanese is usually pretty good, right?
Yeah. Well, the problem with Sonic the Hedgehog game, beyond the fact,
Beyond the fat.
beyond the fact that they're Sonic the Hedgehog and suck ass, is that almost every one of them has just been rushed to get put out at a certain time.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
You'd think they would learn.
So
like
you got to get it done
5
as quick as possible, no matter what corners you cut.
Games are so ridiculously buggy and just completely fucked up.
It's like, don't you think you'd rather push back the date than have tons of people want to return and complain?
Remind me when this podcast is over to watch John Tron's Sonic R.
Oh,
video.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that showcases, like, the first Sonic game that was like, what? It's
Don't you
interesting.
feel sunshine?
So anyway, back to the cars and strange events.
Yes.
Don't you feel it sometimes? You should
Just stop making games.
Yes. I've probably told you guys the story before, at least you, Lennon, but not on the podcast.
Yee.
So when I moved out to Philadelphia for a year to be with Wolf Blitzer,
all of that.
I went.
Makes people who haven't listened
Today's
to the show
top
go,
story, I'm still single.
what? What are you talking about? What are these words you're using?
Wolf Blitzer is the nickname for Erica's
Ex trash.
Oh, God.
My ex
Some
trash.
feelings still of resentment still there?
No, just
He's
ex
made
trash.
of dog lightning.
No, it's just a person not worth
I'm
any
sorry,
time.
did you say dog lightning?
Yeah.
Dog like
Because Wolf Blitz. Okay.
Yeah. I sent him a screen cap because I was going through the channels and there was his name on one of the lower channels and I was like, look there.
I'm sorry, I'm going to make a lot of noise on my mic because
yeah.
I keep moving stuff.
but
This table that my mic is on is, like, so close to
Bad?
me because it has to be.
Yeah.
And I got, like, no leg room, so I keep
He's all
kicking
smushed up
shit.
in the chair.
Yeah. I mean, this is annoying.
He looks like he's trying to be seductive or something. I don't know what's going on.
Like what you see.
Anyway, so
Absolutely.
I was out in Philadelphia, and I was leaving the gym one day, and it was raining out, so my window was kind of foggy, so I turned on the heat, and I turned it on to,
Defrost. Or defog.
Yeah,
Unfrost.
Unfog.
to Frosty. Ice cream started coming out of my car.
I just imagine
That is the weirdest thing.
I just imagine him popping out of here because
I'm just going, driving down the road.
I work at Dairy Queen for a reason.
It's the Wendy's mobile. You drove the Wendy's mobile.
Romobile.
Wendy's Romobile. He's quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, too. It's fantastic.
So I'm driving along, and I set it to defrost, and I set the fans on so for it to come out of my dash rather than my regular vents. And the window starts getting worse. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I open my window, and that seems to help it a little bit.
Was it all on the inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's happened before where,
Yeah.
like, when you first turn it on, it gets worse just because it's like, whoa, it's even worse there. And then it slowly starts going away. Only this didn't get better. I'm like, what the
This
fuck?
is the wrong air.
I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I turned the temperature from hot to cold. I'm like, maybe cold will help. Nothing changed. And then I look over to my passenger side, and the far vent looks like there's fog coming out of it. I'm like, my car's getting awfully foggy. And then I realized the fog was coming out of every vent in my car. I'm like, that's not smoke, is it? I'm smelling. I'm like, it doesn't smell like smoke. It smells like dead frog.
Dead frog.
Well, I'll get to it. Okay. So I managed to get home.
Oh, you're talking. You mean like formaldehyde?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dead frog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Science frog.
It smells like chicken.
It smells like science
I
frog
would
in here.
love science frog.
Science frog.
Somebody draw science frog.
That sounds like Cards Against Humanity kind of thing.
I would love for there to be a perfume called Dead Frog.
like some woman at a waterfall.
No, it should be called
Hair's blowing back.
It should be called Science Frog. Because we
all
all know
these
what
frogs
science...
start falling out of the waterfall.
There's blip, blip, blip. And it... Because we all know what science...
John
We all know
Grom's
what
science
science...
frog.
I almost said science fog. Science frog smells like...
frog.
I got home and I told my neighbor, and she's like, let me call my mom because she works with auto parts.
She works with autism.
Auto parts.
That'll be good for you then.
So her mom ended up coming over that afternoon. I was talking to her, and she was saying, well, it sounds like it could be this and this, so it wouldn't be much of a repair, like $200, $300. I forget what she had said. I'm like, oh, well, that's not so bad. So there was a Meineke up the road. Made an appointment with them, drove it up there, and it was close enough that I was able to walk back in like 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
They call me about an hour later, and they said, and I was like, oh, I didn't think my car would be done that quick. And they're like, it's not. We can't do this repair.
We broke your car.
It's just gone.
We
lost your car.
$5,000.
We drove it into the garage, and now it's gone.
That sort of happened to my friend Jean, where she took her car to the garage and
Jean.
people broke in and stole parts off of it.
I've heard of that
Yeah.
happening. That's
Yeah.
why when I leave my
That's
car
something.
at Ren and Kirby here in Gettysburg, I always
Yeah.
lock it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so they're like, since I drive,
I could not
Infinite
resist.
car storage lot there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
since I drive a Chevy, they're like, you're going to need to take your car to the Chevy place. I was like, okay, what kind of repair is it? They're like, your heater core is cracked. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but okay. They're like, it's an $1,100 repair. And I'm like, ah! They're like, yeah, and we don't do that repair. So I said, okay. So then I had to find a Chevy place that was out there. Luckily, there was one about 15-minute drive away.
Okay.
Called them, and they said, okay, we'll make an appointment for you tomorrow. So this was beginning to middle of February, so pretty cold.
Yeah.
I'm driving my car that distance with my window down, passenger window down, and all my vents are turned off. Nothing should be coming out of it.
And your car still looks like dry ice.
And my car still is foggy.
Yeah.
Awfully foggy in here.
Yeah.
And I had towels lined along my dashboard to keep it from coming up into my face.
Yeah.
I don't know how I made it 15 minutes without
Really?
passing out.
Wow.
I was getting dizzy by the time I saw the Chevy place in
That's
in
really
view.
scary, actually.
It was. Because it
Where's
was...
the Chevy place? Oh, yeah, it's right past the pink armadillo on the side of the road.
It was...
Jesus Christ, Side Dragon!
Because what it was, what was leaking in my car was antifreeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my heater core was
Dead
cracked.
frog.
Yeah, dead fog. It was dead frog fog. Frog fog.
It's my favorite band, Dead Fog.
Dead Fog.
Yeah.
Their first song, Science Frog.
Yeah. It was Fog Hat after they're all dead.
Dead Frog, the Science Frog.
So, yeah, I took it there and I told them Meineke wouldn't do it. They're like, well, we know why they won't do it. You have to rip your whole dashboard off, and that's
Jesus.
They're like, that's a 10-hour repair right there. I'm like, oh. So $1,100 later, my car was better and it was no longer dead fog inside.
So you can walk back, right?
No, I had to get Wolf Blitzer to come get me. And then whenever it got fixed, my neighbor took me.
Okay.
Luckily, they had it done in 2 days.
That's good.
Yeah. But
not
my
horrible.
wallet hurt a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't pass out anymore, and my car didn't smell
Anymore.
like dead frog.
Well,
I don't know how I
So
did.
all's well that ends well.
And this was with both my windows down. I nearly passed out.
Yeah.
Both windows
that's
down.
pretty bad.
And like I said, in February, so I'm like freezing on the way
Cold
there.
and dizzy.
Cold and dizzy. And I get there, I'm like,
What?
let me tell you.
I couldn't figure out where to park because
Turn
of
the
this, how the
bus.
place was set up.
Oh, yeah.
It was like you go in one way and drive out the other. So I go in the first entrance, and it took me to this vacant parking lot with, like, destroyed cars. And I'm like, hey, this isn't the part I should be in. So I'm trying to figure out where to go, and I'm like, hey, I can go around back here. So I parked in the very back, which I found out was where they put the finished cars. And I walk in, I'm like, where am I supposed to go? And they're like, just drive your car up to this overhang thing here on the outside. I'm like, it's a good thing I knew that pulling in.
Ma'am, are you here for the cracked heater core? No more peanuts for me, stewardess.
Dead frogs everywhere. Yeah, it was bad. So that's been my funny event.
Let's not bar this anymore. Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
Oh, yeah, man. It
Talk
looks
about
pretty.
it.
It looks pretty cool. I had a lot of theories that I immediately went, oh, wait, these aren't true.
Okay, so all that's been released is the teaser trailer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And though actually there's a handful of screenshots, too.
All right.
But they don't reveal
The main thing,
much.
the main thing we're looking at is this decrepit, cracked rabbit thing.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Hold on, real quick. My mom was texting me stuff I want at the store, and I said, do they
No,
have
it's okay. We'll wait.
Well, it's
No,
real
it's
quick.
okay. We'll wait.
He butted.
No, it's okay. We'll wait.
And I'm
We
like,
could just go.
I'm like, do they have my favorite yogurt? And she's like, do you want any chicken? I'm like, do they have the yogurt I want?
But what about chicken?
Yeah, rotisserie.
Much more important.
Or like, she was supposed to text me, okay, what do you want at the store? Her first message, I got turkey sausage links.
Good for her.
Okay, do they have my yogurt? Any chicken? Continue.
So Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
Yeah.
I want to play that.
Do you? Like, do you actually want to play Five Nights at Freddy's 3?
No, just, I want to play...
Oh, yeah, it's a good game.
Then he got really excited there for a second.
Yeah. It looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be about.
The storyline is it's
From what we can tell.
It's 30 years after the first game, and the restaurants are all closed.
Oh,
and
shit.
basically the whole murders and everything like that are kind of just like...
the first ones take place in the 80s, right? Or...
no, the first one's 92.
Oh, okay.
And the second one's 87.
Ah.
Yep.
For the bite of 87. In fact, your character is the victim of the bite of 87.
It's funny that just like an offhand joke, like just to be like, oh,
think it was always an offhand joke?
It was just a joke.
You think it was?
I don't feel.
I don't put anything past Scott Cawthon.
Okay, I was just gonna say.
What was a joke?
That dude's a fucking artist.
What was a joke?
Like,
well, it's just that they mention, everything was cool, and then the bite of 87, and then that's all it says about it in the first game.
It just sounds like one of those things, like everything was fine until the accident.
Yeah,
just like offhand mention that as a joke.
But according to the second
thing.
game, really, everything wasn't fine up until then.
Yeah, because we had Fred Bear's diner and
murders
and Fred Bear's murder diner.
So it's 30 years after the first game. All the restaurants are closed down, but to kind of revive the ghost story going on,
right?
Like this, I guess, kind of like a haunted house sort of thing opens up where it recreates the experience. Based on what I've seen on screenshots, they couldn't. The people who got into the restaurant that was all closed down and shit, and then took the parts of the robots and stuff to like build whatever the thing. They couldn't find any working animatronics.
Okay.
So, from what I've seen from screenshots, I think it plays exactly like the first game. Except the animatronics are just like things on like I don't want to say mannequins because that's not quite true. But they're like
carnival games where they just
they just kind of slide around.
Yeah.
Because one of the screenshots has like a Freddy. It's just the head and like the upper body, but it's on a pole and it has no skeleton underneath, and it's just a pole and it looks goofy. It purposely looks goofy. So I think one of the points of the game is to just play the game like as you're playing the first game, kind of like a so tongue-in-cheek sort of thing. Yeah. Like, this is, remember this, but it's danger.
And then it goes,
but there's danger. Yeah. But then they found one working animatronic.
Yeah.
And there's apparently this gold rabbit thing that people are calling Gold Bonnie.
Gold Bonnie or whatever you want to call it.
I don't know.
Could be something.
I think it's Shadow Bonnie, not shadowed. Like that creepy hallucination
God,
glitch.
that's chilling.
That's the most chilling thing.
The thing, because if you haven't seen it, because it's very rare in the game.
I've never seen it in game.
Yeah. It's a silhouette of Bonnie, but the eyes and the teeth are visible.
And they're just the brightest white.
Yeah. Yeah. That,
extreme
I have to say,
contrast.
Nothing has given me chills so much so as the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer.
Really? It didn't do that much for me.
It totally did for me, and I can't tell you why.
I think it's because you see the thing move. You never saw the things move. I have a guess. I don't think this is right, but I have a guess.
You are our resident expert, so
I kind of am.
I will take your opinion into account.
I kind of think, and I don't know, this would be kind of cool to see. I think it would be really interesting if, during the course of the night, this one rabbit animatronic becomes active, and unlike the other games where it was just the kind of images where they would, you'd turn the camera on and they were there.
Yeah.
But the whole game is still completely, I think, 3D rendered.
Because you play it as if it were. Because in the third one, you assume that.
I think all the games, all of these maps are completely rendered out.
Yeah.
Even, I guess, locations that you can't see.
Right.
Like up against certain walls that aren't facing you or whatever. I think it's all actually there. So it wouldn't surprise me if this thing is actually moving in its 3D space towards you, and every time you turn the camera on it, it stops. But it'll do this kind of janky thing, like it knows that you turn the camera on, and it's still like kind of half mid-movement. So when you hit it, it goes like... And then it just stops there.
It's like the most terrifying game of red light, green light.
Yep, exactly. And you have to just... I think that'd be really cool. That's pretty much what the
entire game is anyway.
A little bit, except, these things are just suddenly on you. But if you know this thing is making its way towards you, kind of like Foxy in the first one, how it had these phases of it's coming at you. But this thing is
goes,
actually coming at you.
Okay.
Like, how creepy would it be to have one camera that's in like a room, and you can see like half this thing exiting the room, and then turn a camera on that's a hallway, and see the other half of it looking into that hall, like facing out into that hallway. Like this thing is coming out of this room and coming down this hallway.
Right.
I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Because the thing that I'm especially excited about is this guy Scott Cawthon who makes these games.
That man is an artist.
He is.
Yeah.
Because like the thing that I love about these games in particular, this isn't the point I'm gonna make, but it's an offhand thought.
Right.
The symbolism, how everything is there for a reason, and you have to look into it to discover more about it.
That's how you know it's good.
That's the best.
That's how you know this is an actual thing, and not just some bullshit thing he put together.
Fuck naturalism.
I mean, everything is there if you look for it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I speculate.
Hold on. I was going to say, if I can remember what the point I was going to make.
Cool. Well, if you remember, I'm going to talk. So interesting thing I found out. I already told both of you this, so it's just listening. It's just podcast listeners. So hey, check this out, guys. Fun trivia fact. As we mentioned, Five Nights 2 takes place in 87, and there was the whole Bite of 87 incident.
I remember the thing now.
Five Nights 2 was released 87 days after Five Nights 1, which is, again, how you know this man knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah. He, for all we know, he could have thought of this from the first one.
It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. I actually don't think he would. I don't think he did.
Well,
I think he saw the first one was an incredible success and
decided,
thought, I can expand on this.
Yeah.
So I'm speculating just because I'm speculating, and it's really the only like set number in this entire kind of universe thing. I think it's going to be 87 more days for 3, which is this coming Thursday, February 5th. So I'm saying, especially since the trailer was released and the game did come out so soon after the trailer last time, this coming Thursday is going to be when Five Nights 3 comes out. Yeah.
So let's see.
Did you say you were going by 87 days?
Yes.
If the first game took place in 92?
Something like that. 92 or 93, one of those.
Okay. So that would mean
sometime when we were babies.
Yeah.
And not born yet.
22 or 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2022.
But
no, what I was going to say was, I think I'm really expecting a lot from this third one.
So am I.
First of all, if you look at the difference between 1 and 2, there's a huge like scaling up of what all the mechanics and all the stuff you have to watch out for.
It's still simple. It's still just 3 things: vents, hallway, music box.
Right.
It's brilliant.
But stress level is just
stress
so
level goes
high.
up so much. Like I said in my video, the first game was kind of like a building of suspense.
Yeah.
And it was a careful management of what you're doing. The second one is just a clusterfuck of, oh god, everything is going to kill me. I mean,
that's what you want.
It was more than double the animatronics across these games.
Right.
First one had 5, the second one has 11, you know?
Yeah.
This one apparently only has 1. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
Absolutely not. The thing I'm trying to say is that since he's gotten he's gotten just boatloads of money from this.
Oh, he's a multi-millionaire now.
He's got boats.
I wouldn't
he probably does have boats. His house is probably constructed of boats.
Yeah. His house is just a boat.
He lives next to Notch in that giant mansion that he lives in.
Right.
But no, I think he's the kind of artist that would be like, I have all this money, let's make something better with it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the path he's on. That being said, do you think he will expand further from?
He should not, unless. Did you ever see the fan-made Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer, which was kind of an FPS looking thing where you had a flashlight and you walked around?
You played
this
it the
map.
night we were all, us 3 were here.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
And the animatronics actually moved around the mall.
It
was a mall, yeah.
Right. Oh,
I would like to see that as kind of a spin-off title. Nothing official, like in the lore or anything, but just as an extra little thing.
This is the rule of 3 thing here, where you do 3 installments.
He should call it quits now. Like, this should wrap up every bit of story, every question that we need to know, or leave us with a cliffhanger that will drive us insane that will never be answered.
Right.
I would love to see that also.
Which is probably what will happen.
I would not mind that whatsoever. We have to know who the killer is. Although I think we pretty much know who the killer
It's
is.
the purple guy.
Yeah, which is the phone guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But who is he? He's just
That doesn't matter.
He's just a purple guy.
The fact that we know it's it's speculated. We don't know, but it's very well said.
Yeah.
It's the phone guy.
You know that when Scott Cawthon watched that game theory video, he was like,
shit.
Yeah, they got me.
They solved it. Damn it. Yeah, but I hope they answer just about every question.
It's depressing though, because if he's like smart, which he clearly is,
yeah,
and he stops after 3,
he should move on to a new horror title of some sort.
Or just go into something else.
I got 2 Scott Cawthon. If you're listening to this, I got
he's gonna listen.
2 cool ideas. Honestly, for a horror game.
Got these great ideas.
Yeah. For 2 different horror games, I think would be really cool. One of them involves you constantly waking up in your room, and you have to decide whether or not it's a nightmare or not. And
kind of like Presentable Liberty crossed with Five Nights at Freddy's.
A little bit. It's kind of based on the fact that in your dreams, everything is a little bit different. Like, there's always something that's a little bit off about the place where you are. So you at first it's your bedroom, and if you're smart, you will look around and kind of notice how things are, and then go to sleep, and then you wake up and you have to decide whether or not you are dreaming or not, based on if everything is together or if something's a little bit off. And if something is a little bit off, you have to wake yourself up, and if you don't wake yourself up, you get fucked up by this horrible nightmarish creature.
Wow.
Stop making the fucking
why
noise.
are you
It serves no point.
He's serving a point with it. I don't know.
And I would like it to be like a massive slew of different nightmarish creatures, so it's always something different. Like you kind of want to know what it is, but you don't want to know what it is. I know, right? I think it would be really fucking cool.
I just want to mention, just because I thought of this, my computer, right after we recorded the last podcast, crashed to shit.
Oh yeah, you barely saved that podcast.
I just barely saved. Well, yeah.
What exactly happened?
I have no idea. I tried to go on the internet after after everybody had left to check on something, and it wouldn't go on wouldn't connect. So I was like, that's weird. Let's try to reset and see, refresh all the stuff.
Turn off the try to turn off the Wi-Fi connection and reconnect?
Yeah, and every time I clicked on the internet icon,
the fan.
The what?
It looks like a fan with lines that come up.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
On my computer, it looks like a fan shape.
Are you talking about the Wi-Fi symbol?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a fan, and then the lines come up showing how much of a connection you have.
Right.
Well, I clicked on the internet, and I tried to bring it up, but it was like, okay, here it comes, and it faded away.
Huh.
I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I reset, my entire computer, and it still wouldn't do it. And I'm like, this is clearly not a problem with the connection of the internet.
Yeah.
It's definitely connected. It's just refusing to connect to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into save, because I kept trying numerous things, kept going more and more extreme.
Yeah.
And
Fucking point.
I know.
He's doing fine.
I'm not going to tell a 21-minute story like Wes did that one time.
Oh, God.
So eventually I had to start in safe mode and grab everything I could and put it on a flash drive. I couldn't get everything.
Yeah.
The most disappointing thing was I lost all my Minecraft stuff that I...
And that's horrible, because you worked fucking hard on some of that shit, and
that's too bad.
Huge and impressive stuff.
Yeah, and they're all gone.
Ugh.
Which happens.
You don't have an external hard drive?
No, I don't.
Get one.
It was so weird to me that Minecraft was so weird to save in some weird place like that you would still lose it.
Yeah, I had to search for it, and I tried to put the data of it onto the flash drive, but it wouldn't do it for some reason.
Bizarre.
Buy yourself an external hard drive. They're not expensive, and you could save everything. I have all my stuff backed up, and it saved me multiple times. Well, 1 or 2 times when I completely lost everything due to a virus.
My computer in the last 2 months has done 3, you need to shut this computer down right now kind of things.
Yeah.
So I backed up the other day.
Yeah, I do it about once a month, but I don't really have that much stuff added that
I'm too lazy to unpack the things so much that it had been over a year, because I kept thinking in my head over and over again, hey, you haven't backed up since you started doing how to play stuff.
Yeah.
You know, your whole big fucking intro is kind of here
See,
and in a file. You should save that in case something goes wrong.
GroupCast, I was able to save like the intro song, which isn't too hard to get anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
You can just rip that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's actually a backup that I have. I have my how to play intro as a private video on YouTube. Just the intro. So if I need it for whatever reason and I don't have it, I can just rip it.
Well, anyway, I was able to put like most of my programs and like I have all of GroupCast greatest hits archived on my computer and my stuff you probably wondered videos, all that archived. I wasn't able to save the podcasts that aren't on Spreaker anymore.
Okay.
But Wes has them.
Okay,
so that's good.
That's good.
So he has every podcast.
That's good.
Recently, we had to upgrade to more space, and so we had to take down other podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think he said 21 to 65 are gone.
Okay.
But
I might have kept the most popular.
Well,
in that stretch.
Well, what I'm gonna do is Wes and I are gonna get together, and we're going to upload every podcast individually.
Okay.
On YouTube. On
YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Is Mediafire still a thing?
Sorta.
I haven't heard of it in a while.
That's
it's very hard to use because of all the piracy.
I was gonna say I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard it.
That's what we had all of
ours.
That's what we had all ours on, and that's what Rolls recently re-uploaded the first half onto.
Okay.
So I mean that's a good way to have something, because also then you can just make a like a Facebook post or something that says our first however many episodes are here, and do a link to every single one on that post.
We're gonna get to that eventually once Wes is not reveling in his new nephew, because that's where he is right now.
Yes.
But what I was gonna say was I had to. Luckily, everything on Steam saves to the cloud, and also I was able to get Fraps because I had bought it and I just had to prove to them that it was me, and I had to re-download it.
Easy.
Record Pad, however, the stuff I use to record more than one microphone. This time I don't have to do it because you're recording on your end.
I am recording on my end.
Normally I would use Record Pad as a third thing to record with.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it again because they said, oh, well, if you've had it for a year and you don't have the code, then we can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
It was
hate
dumb.
that shit.
That is dumb.
Yeah.
So I had to buy it again. Luckily, it was on sale for $20.
Oh, that's good.
God.
That was lucky.
Yeah.
But
buy an external hard drive. They are not expensive.
They are
Yes, I
nice.
had better.
They are very nice.
I highly
Mine's
recommend
2
it.
terabytes, and I love it.
That's
Mine's
I can do anything.
Mine's only 250, but I haven't filled
I
it
guess I
at all
really
yet.
should.
No,
Yeah.
mine's it's 750. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think backing up
And-
my thing was like 30 gigs or something. Maybe it's more. It was probably more than that.
I have a lot. I have a lot more.
And maybe I have. Well, you got all these big photos and shit.
No, it's not just photos. I have 4,000 some songs.
Right.
Tons of videos.
I am constantly removing as much from my computer as
Yeah,
Well,
possible.
I've done that too, but
This computer is now practically empty because of all the stuff
I have-
I don't have my podcasts anymore. Rolls is the only one who has those.
I have 10 years of photos on my laptop.
Yeah, that's the
Pretty
space
crazy.
killer.
But it doesn't. It doesn't really. I mean, I have a lot of room on this new laptop.
What I was going to say was when I had to buy Record Pad again, they wanted to know what business I was using it for.
Yeah.
So I put the business as GroupCast Productions LLC, and I felt proud of myself.
That
go.
sounds pretty cool,
Because it's
doesn't
like,
it?
now we're a business.
That is pretty cool.
We are kind
Speaking
of
of external hard drives, though, I have a Toshiba one.
Yeah.
And when I would use it on my Acer, a white light would show up on it.
Yeah.
But now that I have a Toshiba laptop, it lights up blue.
Okay.
I didn't think it would change colors, and I plugged it in. I'm like, why is this blue?
Yeah.
How did you get blue?
it's like the red ring of death on Xbox.
And I was worried. I was like, did something happen to it? But, I mean, everything loaded okay.
Like
so
the
I don't
first time you see that and nobody's told you about it,
Yeah.
you're like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
You know, I keep up with technology and shit, but it still amazes me what it can do. You've been listening to Rooster Teeth podcasts a lot lately. I assume you've heard about these fucking lights that can be like connected to. They're like $40 bulbs or some shit that
I
they
do
can
remember
like
talking about
connect
that.
to like television shows or
And
your
they
phone.
they're like, it's like color coding.
You can make
anything.
them whatever color you want,
Yeah.
and some television shows will say, hey, set your thing to this if you have these lights, and then your lights will get brighter or dimmer or change color also with the show.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm realizing that is fucking unnecessary.
Yeah.
Cool. Very, very cool.
I was just to say, what's
unnecessary.
it do? What's it do? Is it change the screen or something? Or?
No, it's just really weird.
Well, there's a lot of useless technology out there,
is.
and Wes would be the first to tell you.
Yeah.
Yep.
New hologram stuff is actually sounding pretty good so far.
That reminds me. That was the thing I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
Microsoft released an ad about this thing called the HoloLens.
Yeah, that sounds like really cool. Like
I haven't heard about it yet.
Like we're making good progress now in hologram
The future is here.
It's getting here.
Well, it's always been here.
What is it?
So, okay. I watched the ad once last week, so I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but I'll put it on the links so you guys can see it. Thank you.
That was me being
I've stopped doing that for a very
That
good
was a
reason.
dinosaur.
That was
Dinosaur Lynx.
dinosaur laser fight.
Yeah.
I should learn how to play that song.
Anyway.
I know like 7 of their songs.
Me too.
Yeah.
But anyway, the it's like this like thing that goes over your head like a band sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it projects outward.
Oh, yeah. They've
So-
been talking about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, wanting to make it.
Well, that's the thing now.
It's like
Cool.
it's like Google Glass but less stupid.
Not as lame.
Yeah.
They stopped producing those altogether.
Good.
Did they stop producing the Chrome laptops yet? Because they're just as stupid.
I don't know.
They realized that it was a dumb idea.
Yeah.
And they stopped.
Yeah.
Next should be Chrome
Now,
laptops.
Now it was a good concept, but it was a little like it wasn't quite there yet.
Will it ever be?
Yes.
Though, is the thing.
Well, I think it was like a predecessor to something better,
Okay.
i.e., this HoloLens.
Oh, yeah.
So what was really cool was it was like in that one scene in Iron Man when he's building the suit, where he's got like this 3D projection of what the suit is like, and he's just like moving stuff around. They had something like that in the ad.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. Like, this woman was building a bike, and she like a motorcycle, and she had like the model up.
Yeah.
And she had like
interactive
parts.
directions. Do you think? I just thought of this. This could be really cool.
Okay.
Do you think places like in the very distant future, like IKEA, or these places where, or if you order something that needs to be built, like something big, like a motorcycle or some sort, instead of printed directions, you'll get some sort of download to this thing where it'll show up with the
You can connect it to a 3D printer or something.
No. You connect it to your band, and it's going to.
And you see it in front of you.
Yeah, it's going to show up like that, and it could go by step-by-step instructions of take this part and put it in here like this.
That would
And then
be
it could show an arrow like take this,
directions.
and the arrow's like in your vision. Take this road here, go up this ramp.
It would make building Lego so much easier.
I know, right?
It's like the booklets only have like one direction, and you're like, where is this over here then?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things from this ad though was it was a guy who was like his son had drawn like a drawing of a rocket.
Okay.
And so he went into this program and was like there was like all these different like shapes.
Yeah.
Like wooden looking shapes, and he was just like taking them from a menu in 3D space and pulling it down and like building it in 3D
Oh
space.
yeah.
And he built that rocket.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was and so he like I guess 3D printed it or something, and like he had the model based on the drawing.
Yeah.
Shippensburg got a 3D printer in the art department.
Did it? Oh, I bet Professor Whiteley, the graphic design dude, is extremely fucking impressed with that.
Like,
I bet
I
he
wonder if-
loves
I think
that.
Dolbin posted a link, or it was a picture saying this guy came in today to show students how to use it or something.
Oh,
That's pretty
I
awesome.
gotta stop in just for the fuck of it and check that thing out.
3D printers are cool.
I
Well, they
know,
did
right?
have that extra million after building the art.
Oh, yeah, they did. I didn't read the story, but I saw this story about how China is talking about 3D printing apartment buildings and shit.
How's that gonna work?
I don't know. It's a big ass printer.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
just picture it raining and they
Enormous.
all just collapse,
yeah.
One of
or
my-
even just went.
one of the coolest things that's ever happened that I've seen that makes me so happy about the future was there's this channel I follow called Vsauce, and they have 3 different versions of Vsauce. One of them is just like very in-depth questions about anything, sort of like stuff you probably wondered. The second one is about science and technology, and the third one is about video games and popular culture. The second one, they do this show called Mind Blow, in which they show off new and up-and-coming technology. Yeah. And one of the first few episodes they talked about 3D printing before it was like publicly released.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, this is a thing that you could do, and like now it's everywhere. And I'm like, that happened.
I love it.
That was shown off earlier, and now it happened.
I love it so much.
Same thing with the Chevy Volt, the one car that you can plug in to a wall and charge it. Like, I saw that at, like, somebody had done a video years ago about, like, the concept art for that, or the concept car for that, and I'm like, that would be pretty cool if that would happen, and then it happened.
And
I'm
now
like,
it happens.
That's cool!
It's really cool. We're reaching a point where if you can think of something, it's doable. Which is
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I really need to figure out what I'm going to do for this top 5 list show that I want to do for my channel.
Yeah, someday
because
I'll come up with a good...
I so want to do a video on, like, the top 5, what I think would be really fucking awesome video game innovations that haven't happened yet. Just to see then if anybody would make one of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite idea, I hate to talk about it just in case somebody important is listening and, picks up on it.
Never.
And then, but yeah, I didn't want to say these publicly until the video, but my number one idea that I love more than anything else is the pinball machine.
I think you've mentioned this before.
I told you about it once in some car trip somewhere. Check this out, Erica. It's a pinball machine. Mm-hmm. Except...
Oh, I remember it now.
The playing field section is completely empty. There's no flippers. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Holograms build the inside of the machine. You have the possibility of having absolutely any pinball table ever made inside this machine. You could also have incredibly interactive things happening that you couldn't happen on your average everyday pinball machine.
Yeah, like animation.
Yeah, like animated things fucking moving around inside this machine. Mm-hmm. You could have the playing table change mid-game inside this machine.
Like completely change a layout.
Yeah, and you pitched a really cool idea that I liked, which was user-created stuff. Yeah. Where somebody could build this machine and kind of could build a playing area
on a public domain.
Yeah, like a cloud storage thing that this thing can connect to, so you can play somebody else's creation of a pinball table. This whole fucking thing one machine could be every machine.
Right.
And I also kind of like the idea. This is a little unnecessary, but it could be a cool idea of the outside panels. That all the the sides and the top. That could all be just a bunch of different computer screens that change to whatever table you're playing.
So, if you didn't have the physical flippers or bumpers or anything, like, how would that work?
You could still have the buttons on the sides to act as like a left and a right. It would build the flippers in the hologram too.
Oh, for whatever reason, I was thinking, well, how are they going to do that if the ball is rolling around there? But it wouldn't be a
There's no ball either. Yeah, none of that. It would be light as fuck too.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing could move.
Easy transport.
Don't try and tilt that fucker. Don't do it. Yeah. It'll just tip over. That's my favorite idea I've ever come up with.
That's
and I wish I could, Maybe it's something I should actually look into and
try and
it might be
I've always
that might be the $1 million idea.
I've always wanted to try and develop indie games because
I know nothing about coding. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know coding
I don't know that shit either.
But I think it would be fun to do at least the art or music for. Because I think I'm pretty good with theming and stuff.
I think somebody that we know is dabbling in coding right now.
Yes.
So I think if you did music and then the group collaborated on a game and ideas and shit, I could do the artwork for it too.
Yeah.
We could do something. We could actually do something.
Pretty slick.
Yeah, it would.
Because I'm always looking into places to...
Yeah.
I'm always looking into places to expand, like, the stuff we make.
Yeah.
Because I think the shorts is, like, a really good start.
I think so, too. It's a lot of fun. This next one's going to be amazing.
I want to continue on expanding what we make.
Yeah.
And I think in the far, far future, provided we're still doing this, making a game would be really cool.
It would be very cool.
But that all depends on 3 things, and those are funding... being willing and able to make the things, because we need people.
Guys, we need to make a thing.
Yeah, we need people, not just me or not just you,
to
make a thing because we need collaborative effort. Corroboration.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think our goal would be to make an indie game that Markiplier would stumble upon and play.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Because then
you guys will be the new
money rolls right in, I think.
It rolls right in. You guys will just hit a deer again.
It gunts right in.
That's this week's animation.
It gunts right in?
Yep.
No, how Rolls hits deer a lot.
Oh, God.
And then splits them in half long ways.
Yeah.
That was a fun drawing to do.
Oh, God. The long ways deer?
Love it.
Yeah.
I just, okay, one more thing before we wrap up.
Yeah. I got one more thing when we wrap up, too. I want to say.
Okay.
I've got nothing.
We'll start with mine, because I'm at the host.
You're the
I absolutely want mine to be the last.
Okay. So, GroupCast Greatest Hits 100 came out.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What did you guys think?
It's pretty good.
Cool.
It wasn't epic like I kind of thought it would be.
Well,
of course, I was hoping for like a really big epic. It was still a very funny thing, very well done, because it did the one thing that your animation should do. Take a story that doesn't necessarily have a lot of visual stuff to it and add those in-jokes to make it visual, which is what you did in the beginning. Not that you're not doing it now, but with the stories you're selecting now, there are a lot more visual stories, so you don't have to add these extra things. You don't have to add these extra things. But this was one of those stories where you had to add extra things, and you did it very well.
Yeah, one of my favorite gags because of that was Keith Paradise's story about how he and Steve Studio went to New York.
It's one of my favorite stories. Just
I
stories.
love that one.
Stories and animations.
My favorite thing about in that whole thing is when Keith goes, so we hit a couple mics,
that's what I was gonna say.
and it's like Steve Studio punching a guy with a shirt that says Mike on it.
Right after that, he said that we got some pizza. Yeah. And I don't remember what the caption was, but it was a drawing of Charlie's face.
Yeah,
like they were coming out of a building that had Charlie's face on it.
It's like Charlie's Pizzeria or some shit.
Yeah, Charlie's...
Funnier than that, but it was something like that.
Oven-baked Jewish pizzeria or something like that. I don't remember what I drew, but I think it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I hide a lot of Easter eggs in my animations.
Well, that's how it should be done.
You should go find them, Internet.
It's like South Park. For the longest time, they hid an alien in every single episode.
Right.
No, to the point where they even hid it in,
Don't they still
really hid it into the background, so maybe you would catch the... Not so much. Yeah. Like, the first time I ever noticed it, it was like an alien sitting in an audience, so I looked it up and was just like, there's an alien in this one episode, and I found that there's been at least 50.
Alien moves.
Probably. But there was episodes they showed screen caps, and it's literally just the outline you can see, but it's blended into the background.
I love Easter eggs like that. Those are the best.
It's cool shit. It's real cool shit.
What were you going to say?
Alright, so I'm going to end this podcast on kind of like a downer note.
Fuck.
It's kind of sad shit. I don't know if you've heard about this yet.
Maybe.
It just happened.
I live in college land where I don't get a lot of languages.
It just happened yesterday.
Okay, then probably not.
So, as you guys, as the listeners, you guys may be aware, maybe not all of us, but most of us here at GroupCast are very big fans of Rooster Teeth.
Okay.
They're incredible and just fucking genius animator and creator Monty Ohm is critically hospitalized and may not recover.
Oh. Shit, what happened?
They're not telling. All we know is that there is something, and what this guy has done for Rooster Teeth is absolutely incredible.
It's just been ridiculous. That guy, I don't think he sleeps.
He just reboots. He created an incredible anime show. Yeah,
it was just entirely his idea, and he's like, I want to make this, and they're like, okay.
And they did, and it's become the first American-made anime to get imported into Japan.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's that.
I think I might have heard that
good.
Wow.
And he is solely responsible for an incredible, changing moment in Red versus Blue. He took for 9 seasons, it was head bobbing and decent special effect kind of stuff that was really cool and stuff like I would do.
Oh yeah, he was the guy.
And he brought that show to an entire new level that everybody looks forward to on every episode. I remember
the first episode they did that was when I think it was
a warthog comes through a wall.
Yeah, when Doc got pinned to some wall.
No, the first one was the warthog coming through the wall.
Well, the first one that I remember was him getting pinned to a wall.
When that happened in that episode, my jaw dropped, but I was so in tune to what was going on.
Yeah.
I didn't notice until the episode was over.
That's probably why I didn't notice.
And then I became self-aware again and noticed that my mouth was just like gaping open, and I went, oh, I should close this now. Yeah. Like, it's that impressive. So it fucking sucks, and I hope he gets better. And if anybody has a little bit extra money to throw around, if you go to the Rooster Teeth website and check out...
There's a GoFundMe.
Yeah, if you check out Bernie's page, he made a post about it, and there's a place where you can donate money to help medical bills. It's already double. It's already double the.
I was gonna say, I bet he's got a ton of support.
And that was just last night. It was already double. Who knows what it is now?
I'm checking it now.
Last I saw, they were asking 50,000, and it was 120.
147.
Wow, this must be 26. Really serious if that's how much it is.
It is. Yeah, apparently it is. So if you guys have anything. Do that.
This is a bit of dark humor, but do you think it has anything to do with the fact that he never sleeps?
I don't know.
And just is robotic a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep wanting to make the joke that they just turn him off and turn him back on, because that's
we don't want to dive into that. Yeah. But anyway, let's.
He's a weird man. He's all about being as efficient as possible. What's the one thing on a microwave? If he wants to put something in for 1 minute, he'll hit 111 because it's faster than moving his fingers down to the other buttons to hit the thing. Like, everything he does is compartmentalized to save as much time as possible.
It's truly a gift and just very impressive and a little scary.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I hope that all works out.
Yeah, I hope he gets better.
Yeah.
So let's.
Oh man, I have 5 topics we haven't hit yet on this episode.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
I didn't talk about anything.
Save them for next week.
Can I say one more? I want to say one more thing to you.
What have you been saying for the past half hour?
A lot.
No, you've been doing this.
I'd like to remind you that the first half of this podcast was the Erica show.
Hey, and I don't even talk that much. There's been a lot of shows where I sit there and don't talk, and you're like, why didn't you have anything to say?
That's true. When we talk about it, when we talk about things that you don't know about, I notice that you just shut down.
It's because I don't know what to even say or ask or.
And we could say anything, and you go, yeah,
yeah,
that's fine.
We want to include you in as many
Did you see the
topics as
video
possible.
that I put into our Can You Make the Show thing? I figured as much.
Yeah.
You need to see this.
I was driving for a straight hour and a half, so I couldn't see
it. Do you know what it is?
I saw the title of it.
This is... Alright, listeners, go back to the second episode where we had Wes Williams. What is that one called? Tale of Two Wes?
Wes Williams Workshop. It was going to be Wes Williams Wittiness Workshop, but that didn't fit.
Oh. Listen to that episode, because he talks about a man named Mike Valek.
Valek.
You need to know about Mike Valek. He is a comedian?
Question mark?
Very
Mad
question
man?
Marks. Yeah.
Very strange man.
Yeah.
He has this.
Seems like he may kill anyone at any moment.
He has a YouTube channel now.
Okay. Yes, he does.
And he.
Was that the one where he did the artistic walking down the street talking about stuff?
No, not at all. Okay. Not at all. This is not it at all. He has created a series for himself. It's 3-minute long videos of his dopey ass jokes that are they make no sense.
And what's it called? Hoarders.
Hoarders in Denial.
Yeah.
Hoarders Denial.
Hoarders Denial.
Which is a great title, honestly. Yeah. And it's his dopey ass, not quite a joke.
Yeah.
Jokes that are 2 or 3 sentences long. That aren't funny on stage ever. And it's in this weird green screen video
yes, it
format.
Is. But it almost looks more...
It works!
It looks like
so
it is
funny.
more on the...
That's amazing!
It looks more on the professional side, oddly enough.
It is! It really is! It's so dumb!
And he will become more popular than we are.
In the beginning, before he talks, it looks like one of those videos you want to play students at a high school for motivation
Yeah.
until he starts talking. Then you're like,
he says a lot of his jokes that, like, as he said each thing, I'm like, oh, I know this joke. This joke is horrible. It's not funny. And he would say the joke, and I would find myself laughing at it.
Because he's just so pathetic, right?
No, it's actually funny.
Wow.
He doesn't.
What would you
so
do
weird.
if at the end of this year, Rooster Teeth
died.
does their podcast awards?
It's Mike Vanek.
Best internet video. Well, I really like that one of that guy telling jokes that aren't jokes.
What's his
telling
name?
you, man.
Valak?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man,
Phallic?
it's funny.
And
You gotta watch
and
it.
Mike Valak will be the first one to accept one of their trophies.
He'll show up to
he-
Austin to pick it up.
He goes up and gets the trophy. I love you.
Butter flowers. Fucking awesome. All right, let's end this
Okay,
podcast.
yeah. We've been
You know,
going
we
on-
didn't even do
It's-
intros this week. Did you notice
No,
that?
we
Oh,
didn't.
yeah, we didn't.
I caught that like 20 minutes in. I was
There's
like,
only
maybe I
four.
should say something. Nah. Everybody
Wait, what was the
knows.
noise? Bleh.
So on this podcast we have Erica
Yay!
and Lennon.
You foxy slunt.
Slunt?
Okay.
Slunt. I saw this on somebody shared this internet video with me.
Are
It
we
was a
trying to end
stupid
this
video.
this
We
podcast
are.
or not?
In this video
But the
cast.
one guy calls a chick a foxy slunt. And I'm like, I'm using that now.
I wish
That's
I
what
was a
Dad would
slunt.
say. Well, okay, so
I'm
anyway,
not a slunt.
I don't even know. I'm just
Okay.
gonna,
Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Join us next week when we talk about our filming
We're
endeavors.
gonna have the flu.
I was just gonna say that.
All right. Bye.
Oh.